Hey guys, in this video we'll look at what Claude skills are and how to create a simple skill in Claude. So what Claude skill actually is just a folder, and this folder is a folder that can handle a specific task. Let's say you have a task that you do every day. If you have a daily research that checks the trends in your sector, if it's the tech sector or it's the AI, whatever, you just have to create a folder, add a skill.md. This is the only required file. The rest are not required, but they're optional. But we will see why they're important. So gets triggered if Claude realizes that this simple skill is needed. So what you're doing, you're basically giving Claude extra memory without having to put it inside the context window in your prompt. So you can just say, for example, in my case, I have my own company. I created this brand, Hacky brand, which is my colors, my how I want my slides, how I want my PDFs, and everything. So each time I ask for a new PDF, Claude knows how to do this because it's in the Hacky brand. So I usually do mention it, but sometimes it will be triggered with some trigger words that we'll see in the skill.md. So as you can see here, it's a folder, and Claude says that with and without skills, Claude actually uses 50% fewer tokens. So if you want to save money on the tokens, you should be doing this. And the next one is what is in the folder. Let me show you quickly what I have in my folder here. So in my folder here, let me show you how I got here actually. So when I'm in Cloud Code, I can just go to customize, and from there you will see connect to tools, create new skills, and browse plugins. What I will do is go just here to skills, and here you have some examples of skills which are really good, and they're from Anthropic. So if you want to, for example, do canvas design, you can just check what this does, read the skill.md file, which is the file that decides what Claude does in the first step. So this is the workflow that Claude does. It gets triggered by, yeah, create beautiful art, whatever you use as a trigger face. And the name is Canvas Design. So you see the name here and the description. And you also have the license here. These are pre-created by Claude, and you can, by Anthropic, I mean, and you can turn them on here. So I've not turned them on because I created my own, which is my skills. And in here, I have my Haki brand, which is which I use for my production slides and the PDF guides. I will show you how the slides look later. Inside here, I have the skill.md, which is explains everything that should be used each and every time the slides are created. So, for example, if I want slides, Claude will come in here and it will go and read the reference slides guide.md. So in here I have the slides.md. So it will go here and get even more reference to how to create the slides. So this is an example of a skill where I have the skill.md. I have the assets, which are the templates of the documents that I want. And I have my logo. This is the Instagram template. I have my logo here, and I have my executive slide template here. So these are my assets. Here are the references to the assets, which will be used each time, let's say, as I want to create a slide. So basically, this is the skill. And what you have to do if you create your own skill, you can just come here and upload a skill. You have to upload it as a zip file, and skill.md is mandatory to have. The rest is optional. And how should the skill.md look? Let me show you quickly in one of my other here. So you can see here, skill.md always starts with this YAML here, which gives you the name and the description. So this is how Claude gets in there and gets the triggers. So if you have if yeah, let's say you have a create PDF or create PowerPoints, this is where Claude gets it, and then it invokes the Hacky brand and goes in here and does what's needed according to the workflow that you have set up in skill.md. So the workflow comes down here. So this is what Claude will follow step by step. And that's the skill. And if you really don't want to create the skill from scratch, you can actually use the skill creator. So the skill creator is from Anthropic, and you can just go to chat and ask it to create a skill for you. We will do this in a minute. I will ask it to create a skill that will create Excalibur diagrams for me. And I have turned it on because I've already used it to optimize the Hacky brand, which what this skill creator did, it just iterated on my Hacky brand and tested it with different outputs and gave me the best evaluated version of it. And one thing you learn about these skills is that you do have to iterate, do the functional testing, and then go back and see how it's performing. But before doing that, we've discussed the YAML formatter. This tells Claude when to load your skill. And the markdowns that you saw, these are the instructions. So for the names, has to be kebab case name, no space, no caps. And if you look at this, the description, this is when, what, and how you want it to trigger. And this, you can add your license and metadata if you want to. I haven't done it for mine because I just use it for myself. Remember, if you have too vague descriptions, your skill will most probably not be triggered unless you call the skill by name. And yeah, it's recommended that you actually have this simple template where you have your skill and the step one, step two, and think of it as a workflow. So if you have a workflow that you do every day, just go back and do this work, make this workflow into a skill. So let's see. So this is how actually Claude loads the skill under the hood. So you have the YAML formatter. It reads the skill.md as you already saw here. Not this. I will show you this later. And then it shows the linked files and the references if you need that actually. And then it processes everything step by step and creates whatever you want it to create for you. So in my case, let me show you. This was the first iteration of the slides. I just asked it to create a slide deck for me on how to create skills in Claude, and this is what it came out with. And then we started iterating and got a better version of this. So what you can do is just check the output if you, of course, have enough tokens to do all this iteration, because it uses some tokens in the beginning to create these skills, and you will get some good output. Then you have to iterate from there. Remember, you just have to iterate and create and get to the best skill, not the best, but the skill that you want it to be. So for my case, an example, for example, I create a lot of diagrams as this one you're seeing here. So I will ask Claude to actually create this generate skill that generates the diagram for me. So let's go back to, okay, this is the skill. Remember, this is the skill creator, and new tab, new session. Let's go here. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to chat here and just do this. Yeah. So in here, I will just ask new chat, and I will ask you're an expert. Use when given any research, and all the explanations live inside the diagram. Use the skill creator. Sorry, skill creator skill. And let me just use Opus 4 and enter. So you will see that Claude will be reasoning here and converting research topics into diagram generation, reads the creator skill. So what we'll see here, it goes to skill.md as we already discussed. And then it goes and looks at what is inside there. And after that, it goes back to read the truncated portion of the skill dot as we discussed again. If we go back to our picture, where is our picture again? If we go back to that, you will see that this is exactly what yeah, here, this is exactly what's happening. It's reading the full instructions, and then if it needs the skills, it calls the skills. Do we need reference files? Also calls the reference files. But let's see what's happening behind here now. So it has deep knowledge of the Excalibur format. It's building the skill with a generator script and thorough skill.md. So the skill.md is being created for our new skill. And I really don't have to create the skill myself. It will be created for me through the other skill, which is created by Anthropic. So now Claude is done creating the skill, and it explains that triggers on diagram visualization, and there is some scripts which is generate excalidraw.py, which is a Python. Yeah, it has the Python file there, and then you have the references, which is the element format. So you can check them out here. Let's see. So what you can do is you can download it if you want, but I can just copy to my skills there, and I can just see, just manage my skill here. So here is the skill. It has the skill.md, generate self-contained .excalidraw JSON diagrams. You can see the references here, which is the element format which we discussed, and also the Python script that will run when to create this. So if we look at the connectors, which is important here, I just added the Excalidraw MCP app, which allows you to build the interactive visuals with in Claude. So you need this. I'm not sure if you need it, but I added it just in case I need it. So guys, before I continue, there is something you need to know also about skills is that you can have skills on the public level where it's in the skills folder, and then you can have your user skills. So what I want to do is actually move these two to the public skills so that I can use them anywhere. So I can just ask Claude to do that. So let's see what happens. So most of the things you will be doing in here, you can, yeah. So to add those skills to the, for example, through whatever platform, yeah. So was not possible to add from here. So let's see how we can move this to the home Claude folders first. So now guys, I will use Claude Code to actually try the Excalidraw diagram skill that we just created. So it lives in the users folder, and let's see if this works. So I do trust my own folder. So let's see. It's pondering. There's some really cool words which come up when this stuff happens in Claude Code. So I'm concocting. So what does that mean? Let's see. Yeah, it's using web fetch, and we will also see using, yeah, it's Excalidraw readme. Let's see what it's reading. So it's done here, and you can see the Excalidraw diagram has been saved to this space here. So I'll quickly show you where it lives in my. So this is the Excalidraw diagram, and it lives in my diagrams. Yeah. So that's it, and all I have to do actually is just see the diagram. This one here, just drop it into. Let's see. I can delete this. This is actually the one, but. What I can do is I can just take it and drop it in here, and I will be able to see the diagram. So this has given me the diagram about writing effective instructions for declarative agents in M365 Copilot, best practices and iterative process, what is important. So this is simply how you create a skill and use it in Claude. And what I would recommend doing here is actually iterating until this becomes something you like adding some other animations and other stuff, and make sure you do that in the skill.md, and from there you can just continue building on your skills. Remember to iterate while building your skills. Thanks for watching guys, and in the next video I will go deeper into how to iterate on these skills.